Okay, let's talk about hybrid trading. This is a fun one. So we are always looking for different ways to make money in our accounts, right? And people kind of constantly ask like, okay, how do you enter altcoins? What's the best case scenario to enter altcoins? And like kind of like, when do you enter altcoins, right? Because people kind of get confused on where these prices come from and when is the ideal time. So we're going to go look at BQX. Okay. BQX is a good example. BQX today had a bit of a breakout moment. So BQX is kind of at this, impasse right now where, we can see there's, some pretty large trends breaking, right? So we can see there's some pretty large trends breaking here. It looks like it's going to try to have a large move up. It's laddering off its previous push, right? So it pushes up here, ladders off its previous push. So at a glance, BQX looks really good. Okay. But timing is everything. Remember that, because this could easily now turn into this out here. And this could easily be another month away from having a bigger move up, right? So timing is kind of everything on altcoins, and not only timing, but also understanding when it makes sense to enter these things, right? So you can see here BQX passes kind of this larger trend. It has a move up and it has a pullback, right? So BQX had been primed to move up in a big way, but this got ruined by Bitcoin's move. So we're going to talk a bit about like why this happens, what coins it will affect, and what kind of coins it won't affect. So BQX, for example, let's take a look at some timestamps here. When was this thing happening? Let's go to an hourly chart and see, kind of when was a smart time to get in, which was right here. Kind of early morning this morning was perfect, like 3-4 in the morning. So at 3 and 4 in the morning, what was happening? So let's go to Bitcoin and see what was happening at 3 and 4 in the morning. So we're looking for the, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do it on this because this is a little easier here. So Bitcoin at 3 and 4 in the morning was kind of just holding its range, right? Like it was just kind of holding its range nicely. It wasn't really doing too much. It was just kind of at the top of its range. So Bitcoin was kind of in this state of stagnancy, right? Like it hadn't moved up yet at 3 or 4 in the morning. Like right here, it hadn't moved up. You can go to the replayer tool and pick the exact time. 3 and 4 in the morning, it hadn't moved up. BQX was approaching its kind of break of its move. We'll do it like this. This would be a great idea. BQX. And we're going to go to the hourly chart on this. We were looking at February 7th at 3 in the morning, right here. And then we're February 7th. Okay, so we're right here actually. This makes a little bit more sense. February 7th at 3 in the morning. February 7th, 3 in the morning. So you can see Bitcoin had no real intention to move up at that point. It had to break trend. And so fine, it has to break trend. It's just continuously holding its move, and there's no real rush for this thing to kind of break out, right? So BQX starts taking move up because there's no real panic or there's no real rush to say, hey, Bitcoin is moving up in price. All the altcoins are going to pull back. So there's two different kind of pullbacks that happen. There's the altcoins that don't have tether pairings, and there's the altcoins that do have tether pairings. So BQX is an altcoin that does not have a tether pairing. Okay. It does not have people who trade it in tether, right? On Binance, it doesn't have BQX USDT. It just has BTC. So when Bitcoin is going through a pullback, what happens is these coins that don't have USDT pairings, those are the coins that people are taking their Bitcoin and they're hedging into those other things, like BQX, for example. You see how Bitcoin has no real reason to be pushing up right now. It's kind of just holding its range to see if what it wants to do. Yet in the meantime, BQX was breaking that bigger trend that we saw before. So BQX is breaking a bigger trend, and it can have its move up because here by 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. What time are we at here? February 7th at 1300. Yeah, that looks about good. And let's see what's happening here February 7th at 1300. February 7th at 1300. Nothing. Bitcoin is simply just stabilizing and holding its move. There's no real kind of action or cause to action. But then it starts getting close to a trend, right? So what happens here? You start breaking over a trend on February 8th at 2 in the morning, right? As Bitcoin's kind of approaching this trend and holding its move longer and stabilizing and trying to move up, you can see where BQX is starting to pull back. So it's starting to react against it because people want to be back in BTC. So people are going to hedge now into BTC, right? It's a way to increase your account. Okay, what's our timestamp here? We're at 13 at February 8th, 13 at February 8th. See, so Bitcoin moves up February 8th at 1300 and BQX moves straight down February 8th at 1300. Again, this is because there's no USDT pairing. So there's no value proposition to actually move BQX's price up, right? If this had a USDT pairing, you're going to see a little bit of a different confluence, right? So now we're going to go look at a coin that has a USDT pairing. Hot USDT, for example. So Holotech has been moving up quite nicely, actually. So Holotech, I'm just going to draw a couple simple trends here, just quickly eyeball it, see if I can catch it. There's this here, and then there's this right here, right? So Holotech had a pretty good break going back a few days ago, going back to February 3rd. So let's go here on our daily charts and look where February 3rd is for Bitcoin, right? So, and this actually started back on January 31st by the looks of it. Started back on January 31st. So let's go back here and we're going to go back to January 31st, right? You can see that the USD coin is not going to affect this as much as when Bitcoin moves up, because this is kind of a value proposition. As one is moving up and there's a USDT pairing, you're going to see that same value carried through other coins with USD pairings. Okay, so we are on January 31st here. We're on February 1st. So if Bitcoin had started to move down and dump, right, and it starts to pull back, what's going to happen is that on February 3rd here, let's actually go line this up perfectly. Right there. So you can see that as this US pairing is approaching its trend line, it's going to have a move up if Bitcoin's price keeps moving up. Because when Bitcoin goes up in price, so do all USDT prices for all coins, because they have that USDT value, right? That's the difference between some of these coins and the way they act, why they act the way they do. Bitcoin's holding its range. There's nothing pulling BQX's value back, or sorry, Holotech's value back here. Not BQX, hot. So hot USDT, Holotech USDT. There's nothing holding its price back. Meanwhile, it's coming to a trend that it's going to break. If Bitcoin had dumped here, it would have failed this trend and pulled back. This is very different how BQX would have acted. BQX, because it doesn't have this, well, I want to say tethered pair, because it doesn't have this tethered pair, it doesn't have this value proposition in USDT. It doesn't have anything to pull back. So these kind of BTC only coins will have a straight hedgeable value against that, right? So you can see that we're on February 5th here, and on February 4th, February 5th, Bitcoin has a big move up in price and it coordinates with Holotech, and Holotech has a big move up in price too, but it breaks its trend. So you can see over 4 days, what does it do? Well, it's going to do the same thing Bitcoin is doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it broke its trend, right? So this is going to naturally propel the actual price up. Had Bitcoin dumped here, you would have seen Holotech have a massive pullback because it would have rejected trend, right? So this is kind of the difference where you see Bitcoin's moving up and Holotech, which is also an altcoin, was able to move up. against something like BQX, where BQX, if we actually look at BQX hasn't looked so great. It hasn't moved straight up. It actually broke a trend when Bitcoin was holding its range. It was able to break a trend, which is perfect, right? You have kind of some kind of trend like this going back to February the 3rd. It also breaks trend, but then it has a pullback when Bitcoin starts moving up because it's reducing the price of BQX as Bitcoin moves up, right? So it's kind of rejecting the move and holding it back. So there's kind of a very unique difference here in how we trade altcoins. So you have to look at these things, and maybe we can look at another one like EOS maybe. EOS probably had a large move up. Let's go EOS USDT. EOS would have had a large move up kind of in that range for the exact same reason. And actually, this is a bad one because EOS has been moving up. Well, what about Bitcoin Cash? Let's try it. Is it just BCH now? Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, there we go. So Bitcoin Cash very much had the same thing going to February 3rd here. The value of Bitcoin Cash goes up. This is a very obvious one because it's hedged against Tether, right? So it takes a large move up, just like Bitcoin did. You know, same with something like maybe another one like metal. Metal has a USDT pairing. So probably on February 3rd, it's going to have a huge move up as well. So I'm assuming there's some kind of trend here from here to here, which ends up being to that right there. So you have this right here, which breaks out right there. You have the same scenario, right? You're breaking trend, USDT volume is going up. This is going to carry and propel the value of this as opposed to a coin that doesn't have a USDT pairing, right? So now if Bitcoin has a pullback, the opposite is going to happen. If Bitcoin has a straight move down right now and Bitcoin goes, oh, you know what, we hit our level, we're pulling back. All these USDT pairing coins are going to do the same thing. They're going to pull back. Something like BQX is going to have a large move up. So this is kind of the definition of hybrid trading, because you don't always want to be in Bitcoin and you don't always want to be in altcoins. You kind of have to move in and out of both. You have to scale your expectations to both. So we're going to take this dual screen off and we're going to talk about that for a second. Right now would be a terrible time to buy altcoins because we know Bitcoin, well, we don't know, but we're assuming Bitcoin is going to move up in price. Okay, so let's get rid of these brush strokes here. Like that. We think that Bitcoin's going to move up to this origin level up here. This would be a terrible time to buy altcoins because as it goes up to here, as it pulls up to here, all the altcoins are going to pull back. When it gets here, the altcoins are going to be pulled right back. So let's look at, I don't know, let's just pick one. INS maybe, GTO. Yeah, see, as Bitcoin's price is moving up, look, GTO is moving down in price. As Bitcoin's price is moving up, BQX has pulled back all day long. So you can see that this is working very straight and clear, right? And all of a sudden, we have a pullback on Bitcoin here from this top. So all coins are pumping a little bit, but it's very minor, right? Like there's a lot of green on the board. It's very minor. This would be, again, a terrible time to buy altcoins because you're going to see another pullback on altcoins as we approach this level. Once if we reject this level, this moment right here, right as this touches, would be like the ultimate time to buy like BQX or GTO or one of these altcoins that don't have any type of USDT pairing, right? Some of those USDT pairing coins will still move up, but people hedge their BTC either against USDT or against other coins of opportune positions, right? So this point right here where we hit this level, if this pulls back in a big way, right? Like if this pulls back right here, we are going to have a great opportunity to enter altcoins, okay? So this is kind of hybrid trading where you have to decide, okay, am I going to enter altcoins or am I going to, and this is actually not just altcoins, this is all markets. This happens in Forex too. This also happens in tech stocks. It happens in weed companies. It's just about finding the coin that controls the market, right? Like in Forex, gold controls the market. So when gold pulls back, typically bronze or silver will move up, and all, whatever the leading stock is, it will affect the rest of the market. The same thing is true in crypto. When Bitcoin hits like the perfect level, when it hits this perfect level here, you go up, you pull back. This moment in time is the perfect time to enter some of these altcoins that are no USDT pairing. Maybe like Oaks and BQX and some of these coins like this. You guys find your own list. But if let's say we wanted to go into BQX, and BQX was about to break trend and it hit this, and BQX was right at the perfect trend line. This is BQX and it's kind of sitting right here, and it's been like this, and it's come down here and it's like this. And then all of a sudden, okay, we hit this moment here on Bitcoin. BQX is riding this trend. It's literally ideal, perfect time, because this is going to skyrocket up on BQX. So this is kind of hybrid trading. It's understanding when to be in what coins, when to be in kind of long and short positions, when to be in altcoins, just a different way to grow your portfolio. So not everybody likes leverage trading either. It's very risky, and it takes a lot of skill, patience, and practice to do it properly. So if you don't like leverage trading, this is a great way to start looking at the rest of the market. It's a great way to look at altcoins and to pick your positions wisely, not just entering. This is a lesson I learned many years ago. I used to just look at coins, like I would go like this. Yeah, sure. We'll stick with BQX right now. Why not? I would go into something like this. I would see the trend breaking and I would enter the trade and just say, oh, it's breaking trend. This looks great. But there's more to it than that. All the stars have to align. This has to be breaking trend while Bitcoin is in kind of this opportune moment. If Bitcoin is not going to allow the BQX or whatever GTO, or, let's look at that one. GTO, what does this look like? Oh, see, look, there's a perfect trend here on GTO. This would be a great spot to enter if Bitcoin starts to stabilize, but it's too soon right now, right? It's still too soon. You've still got a few more days that this could move against the price, right? Maybe wait till you hit this right here and Bitcoin has its pullback. Maybe what's going to happen is Bitcoin is going to hit that 10.4 level in a few days like this, and we're going to be here. And the second that 10.4 level gets hit and rejected on Bitcoin, so Bitcoin, it hits that level and pulls back. This is the perfect time to enter here, because what's going to happen here is this is going to break over top like this and fly up to your target. So this would be like the perfect time to enter something like GTO, right? So I learned this a long time ago, that you can't just enter an altcoin just because it's breaking a trend. If Bitcoin won't allow it, it'll simply reject the trend no matter how good it looks. It could be holding this level for 5 days. It could be like this. And Bitcoin is just slowly moving up. And it could be here and it's just about to break up and volume starts to come in. And then Bitcoin takes a huge move up, and what happens? This inverses and has a massive pullback. It doesn't matter how good it looked. It doesn't matter that it was already breaking over trend. That was back from June, right? It doesn't matter. Again, this is something I learned a long time ago. You have to time your entries in these markets perfectly. So when you are looking to enter altcoins, the stars have to align. And when they do, yeah, you can make 100% on a coin. No problem. Easy peasy. But the stars have to align. Actually, I would probably target this right here. But anyways, the stars have to align. So this is a really good way to look at altcoins. This is a really good way to assess positions and different trades and what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? You should always have an excuse as to why you're getting into a trade. Go back to Bitcoin here. Wait to see what happens here before you enter altcoins, because you're kind of in no man's land right now. If you entered Bitcoin right now, you could potentially be hitting this, holding the range, and then breaking up. The moment you enter here, this entire marquee of moves, like the entire sequence here, those coins are going to be bleeding down. You're going to be losing 1% an hour kind of thing. It's like 1%, 1%, 1%, 2%, maybe 0%. Here, when it goes over, you lose like 8% or 10%, right? The sea of red that happens in crypto and all stock markets, a sea of red, right? So be very wary, right? Like enter right here. If it's going to pull back, then you can enter properly. If it's going to go over, then you're going to have a huge dump and you can knife catch an altcoin. This is going to go here while altcoins go down. And in this moment, you can knife catch the altcoin, right? So it's like the perfect way to get entries. It's a perfect way to reduce risk. It not only gives you optimal positions. It gives you great control over your trades, and it allows you to understand exactly what's happening without kind of the, oh, I entered this, it was breaking a trend. How come it didn't have a huge move up like it's supposed to? This is why, right? Because Bitcoin kind of controls the entire market. So, all right. See you guys later.